All right. This is going to be a weird, abrupt start. I'm going to make sure we're actually live. So, unfortunately, there were some technical issues. So, tonight is actually just going to be a solo me stream. I know. I'm very sorry about it. I was almost like, do I even, without a friend, do I even want to do it? But we were having some tech issues. I will say it is going to be a little bit soul crushing because in just the couple of episodes we've done, have become accustomed to that back and forth. So what I'll probably do is I'm still finishing things up here. We'll run the show. We'll do the show. We'll do roast the news. Probably a little bit of r/news. Probably then, because it was my birthday, little super chat segment. Because I am a whore for money. And then I think we'll call it a goddamn day. All right. Well, let's do this back the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So we'll hit that, and then I'm supposed to hit that, and then it should be this. No. Wait. That's the wrong one. Hit this. Then this. Then this. Except for that's not correct, is it? No. That would be the right one. Oh no, the button broke. It's supposed to be that. And then tonight on the Some Show. What a great start! Tonight on the Sometime Show, the election is on, and as of today, the competition. All right, I have to stop it for a second. I like I said, we were troubleshooting technical issues here, and so it meant some things didn't get done. And my teleprompter font and formatting is not in the not in the profile to which I am accustomed, and it being a different font and not centered is fucking me up. All right, here we go. We're starting over there. Tonight on the Sometime Show, the election is on, and as of today, the competition will officially be between Trump and Biden. Oh boy, who could have seen that coming? Also, Alaska Airlines is in trouble for the shoddy workmanship on its jets, but it could be worse. They could be Spirit Airlines. Plus, a K-pop star has apologized to the public for having a boyfriend, while I demand Jungkook apologize for not being my boyfriend. And finally, J.K. Rowling is here to poop in my yard and then claim that it is a space for cis women only. All that except for the last tonight on the Sometime Show. Welcome to the Sometime Show. I'm Jimmy Snow, and I really just hope that's enough. You know what's something that I'm noticing right now that I don't know how to fix and account for? On my monitors, I can see what the horizontal and the vertical see. And for some reason, you who are watching in vertical format right now are getting a more yellowish, orangish version of me that are not just because I'm wearing blue light filtering, because it would do it to both. Anyway, we're once again broadcasting. What did I say? That I'm Jimmy Snow, and I just hope that's enough. We're once again broadcasting in both horizontal and vertical formats. If you are watching on one and prefer the other, just hit up the link in the description. It is Wednesday, March 6, 2024, which means two things. One, yesterday was the day where Americans in more than a dozen states went to the polls and chose their nominee for president. But also, and way more importantly, it was my birthday. And I turned 34 years old. This is the birthday stream because I was too sick to do it yesterday. Would have been better on my birthday, but it wasn't. So here we are. I turned 34 yesterday. And honestly, as far as birthdays go, that is like a really boring birthday. It's hard to get excited by turning 34 years old. So I haven't really had a birthday of note worth celebrating in 4 years, but I actually figured out one. For 34, it is a little special for one reason. Technically, by getting to 34 years old, I beat Jesus. I beat the Christ. Hashtag better than Jesus. Hashtag low bar. So for today, we're actually going to skip super chat question of the day. But if you want to, you can still send a super chat. I'll read them. It can have a birthday message on it. It's funny. We were going to be doing something else with it because of my guest who was going to be on, who runs a charity. We are going to have the guest back for a bit of a charity run, but today we'll just do things the normal way. Now I have the intro for it. So let me read the intro I was going to read for Hope, because I think Hope will be listening right now and it'll make her feel guilty, even though she shouldn't. We decided, oh shit, we're just gonna have to do it another day from a different either location with a different device. Anyway, this was the intro I was going to say, but Hope won't be here. I'll be doing this solo. I've said many times before that I mainly want to have on people who either make me laugh or whom I like to make laugh. And while my next guest does fall into both categories, today's going to be a challenge because she is much more a laugh on the inside kind of person. She's an asexual adult content creator who has been featured in Playboy and Penthouse and uses her income as an adult model, including on OnlyFans, to fund her dog rescue here in Texas, where thousands of dogs are slaughtered every year. Please welcome one of my besties, HopelessSoFrantic. And then we were going to talk about her charity and introduce her. But again, we're unable to do that. So anyway, if you have any birthday super chats you want to send, that's going to be the end segment. So the way it was going to go is now, usually I would have the guest on, I bring them on, and then we would go back and forth reading stories with the guest having never heard or read the story in advance. Now, we'll actually be back. I'll be back with Dominic this Sunday, and Dominic and I write both each other's stories. So neither of us know what we're reading in advance. So that'll be coming up on Sunday. There's a chance I'll go live Friday if I decide I want to. So there might be 2 shows in the next couple of days. And I wish that had not just beeped at me. I'm going to turn off notifications again. But I love you too, Hope. That was the thing I got. In our last 2 shows, this doesn't matter because this is all part of the intro stuff. So we're going to go. We're going to go with, let me also get aligned with my shortcuts here. We're going to go and roast the news. That didn't work correctly either. It's supposed to be this one, but there isn't actually. So I guess what I wanted was, whatever. We'll just proceed, and I'll just hit my own each time. Here we go. Yesterday was Super Tuesday, where Americans went to the polls and chose between a piece of shit, a much bigger, smellier piece of shit, and the biggest, smelliest piece of shit that has ever been shat. You can disagree on who the biggest and the least ones were, but we all agree the middle one was Nikki Haley. No matter what side of it you're coming from, right? Nikki Haley's the middle shit. And already the story isn't completely accurate, because if it was, I would have said yesterday was Super Tuesday, where most Americans didn't do fucking shit except yell on social media and watch poverty porn on TikTok. But some number of them went to the polls also. Poverty porn referring to that like white knight stuff that like, oh, look at what we did for all of these poor people. Yay, capitalism that makes this popular content. Fuck yeah. Last night did solidify that 2024 is going to be a race between Trump and Biden, but not a literal race, thanks to the real third-party candidate, Father Time. That's not that good a joke, is it? Fuck. Off to a bad start. Let's just hope this summer is the summer of natural causes. See, I feel off my game, but I'm just going to keep going. I feel like the delivery on that was bad. Like, it's fine enough. I'm just going to do the last part again. That's what this type of show is. People, it's really funny. People will leave comments like, clearly you can tell that this show is not what your audience wants from you. And I'm like, you think I still do shows based on what I think an audience wants me to do? Are you fucking crazy? This is all to feed some weird attention addiction I have. Get the fuck out of here. This isn't, well, except for then I would do it for more attention. No, this is to get out my feelings and achieve some catharsis. At this point, if the current audience doesn't like it, that means I'm trying to find a new audience, the ones who do. And maybe it's nobody. Maybe it'll be just me all alone doing live streams for myself in the future. Just like fucking, Rudy Giuliani. Do y'all know he has like a Twitch channel, but when he streams, he only has like 12 people watching. Anyway, Last night did solidify that 2024 will be a race between Trump and Biden, but not a literal race, mind you, thanks to the candidate's real third-party candidate, Father Time. Thanks to the race's real third-party, whatever. Let's just hope that this summer is the summer of natural causes. Yeah, that sucked. All right, going on. The Supreme Court sided with Donald Trump on Monday. This was one Hope would have been reading, locking in his eligibility to be on the Colorado ballot. This will have larger implications in several states which sought to remove him from the ballot for his part in the January 6th insurrection. The court unanimously declared that states do not have a right to determine the eligibility of federal nominations, only state nominations. In other words, this Supreme Court is so anti-abortion, they won't even let you abort an unwanted baby from your ballot. Now, for an unrelated question, can someone taste mifepristone in Diet Coke? I like that one. I'm just going to give commentary after each one. Just like, let's see if that joke worked. Here's why I liked that one. I don't know why I sound like I'm Nicolas Cage doing an impression of Lorne Michaels, but that's where we're at today. After underperforming on Super Tuesday, Nikki Haley ended her challenge today, the challenge to Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. And the only person who was more relieved than Donald Trump was, frankly, Joe Biden. I don't want to mince words here. I'm tired of pretending I don't see what I see. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are not popular candidates, even though they have some tremendous hold on their parties. Nikki Haley, however, would have held the Republican support in the general election and is way more popular among moderates and independents. So what I'm telling you is Biden could not have beaten Nikki Haley, not without some sort of extreme event like Donald Trump running third party, which he might have done. But were she the solo nominee and he didn't try to blow it all up, she would wipe the floor with Biden. And this isn't because I support her. I do not support Nikki Haley. And for all of his flaws, Biden would still be a better president, tremendously better than Nikki Haley. I'm just talking about what the actual cold hard fucking facts are. That's what I'm here doing. But the good news is Trump is also this little baby boy who cannot handle any kind of defiance. And so while a Trump-Haley ticket would be extremely difficult to defeat, that's also not going to happen. Almost certainly not. Nikki didn't even endorse Trump today when she gave her dropout speech, which kind of seems like, yeah, she's going to be locked out of that VP slot, which honestly is probably a good thing because as we watch this man slip further into dementia, I'm going to start multitasking on my phone here. No, I'm going to share the video out. I forgot to do that. Oh my God. The headphones in my glasses started playing. Oh shit. I was trying to do this subtly. Anyway, it's probably a good thing because as we watch this man slip further into dementia, who even knows what he would do when he suddenly thinks he's on stage with a new wife or Nancy Pelosi or his new wife, Nancy Pelosi. Now, that said, there's actually a pretty good reason to believe that he's already chosen Tim Scott for vice president. And that situation might not fare better. Like, I just imagine Tim Scott on stage with him and he's just like, you bring my car around. Or I guess it'd probably be simpler, just like, oh my God, we're being robbed. For those of you who don't know, Tim Scott is a black man. And that is a joke about how Donald Trump is a racist and would assume that he was being robbed or that his car was going to be valeted by Tim Scott. Okay, hang on. I'm going to do my little share out here and then we're going to proceed. What I like is how well this is going. It's actually going fine. I don't know why I'm being so hard on myself. We're just going to repost. Hey, look what Jimmy's doing right now. Also, he's solo. There were tech issues. So even though she's still on the thumb, we're sorry to say you're stuck with Jimmy. All right. Hey, that worked. Boom. All right. Solid share. Here we go. Speaking of Trump and the weird things that he says about people of color, this week, Donald Trump once again endorsed I meant to do that already. Mark Robinson for governor of North Carolina, and in a bizarre rally speech claimed that Robinson is like, you're very much like Martin Luther King, but even better. I say he's like Martin Luther King ×2. He really said that. Even Martin Luther King, even better, and Martin Luther King ×2. Much better ×2. So I'd like to go ahead and investigate that claim for a little bit. This guy who's better than Dr. King. Here's just a few of the features of this would-be governor. First of all, he's a Holocaust denier who publicly called the claim that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. Not kidding. He called it hogwash. Making sure everybody's behaving in chat. He's also a man who has encouraged people to read Hitler and, of course, also quoted Hitler. He's also said horrific things about the queer community, calling us filth, saying transgender women should be arrested for using the bathroom, and suggested that transgender women could solve the problem just by going outside and finding a corner to pee in. So please, Donnie, tell me, what specifically do you think Mark and Martin have in common? Specifically, what is similar about that man? Oh, and I'm just realizing this. So this little black screen is usually for the, here, I can quickly adjust that out of here. That little black screen is usually so you can see the person also, the guest. I wasn't planning on ever doing this show without a guest. So that's what that little black screen's been about. Anyway, what specifically about this man do you see as having in common with Martin Luther King Jr.? I think we know what the first thing you see is, but I'd like to know, can you name a single second thing, let's say not a physical characteristic, that this man, the Holocaust denier, the anti-queer person, what's one more thing he has in common? We're going to wait. No, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to move on. Hey, look, I have some problem solving for you. Let's say you face the following problem. You're talking to somebody and they're too horny, and you'd like to shut down this person for being too horny. All you have to do is utter the phrase that we're going to start this next story with, and that's this. Let's talk about Mitch McConnell. So after Nikki Haley dropped her campaign for president, Mitch McConnell, the outgoing minority leader of the Senate, has announced his endorsement for Donald Trump for president. Yeah, this guy who years ago said that Trump was entirely responsible for the January 6th insurrection, and then they started trading jabs, but less trading and more Trump just shit-talking Mitch McConnell over and over again. By the way, not just going after him, going after his wife, who Donald decided to be super fucking racist about. Yeah, that's the guy that Mitch McConnell has decided, oh, he's mine. Well, the guy makes a lot of sense. American people. I gotta get down into the American people. I gotta work the jowls. In response to this moral surrender of McConnell, the Trump campaign has unveiled their new 2024 slogan, Trump 2024, please, sir, may I have another? I think the original quote might be, thank you, sir, may I have another? But please, sir was funnier. It's like combining the Animal House quote with the Oliver Twist quote. Does everyone, we all on the same page? Everybody gets it. And we've all agreed, holy shit, he's funny. Also this week, Donald Trump once again confused President Biden and President Obama. We're almost done with Trump stuff and election stuff, I promise. I don't know why I said I promise. There might be like 3 or 4 more, but I think we're almost done. Also this week, Donald Trump once again confused President Biden and President Obama as additional rumors regarding his cognitive abilities have been rising. Now, Donald Trump has insisted that when he makes this Biden-Obama swap, he's totally joking and it's intentional. It's a joke. He's doing it on purpose. So I'd like to read to you his most recent quote. You just tell me whether or not you think, silly goose. The age-old game, is he a silly goose? That wasn't scripted. I just thought it needed it there. He actually said, Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word. He said that. So yeah, It's a joke, guys. This guy totally is a dude who knows when and where he is. Or perhaps we could look at some other signs that maybe these time and location gaffes shouldn't even be too surprising. Because keep in mind, Donald Trump often speaks as though it's 1930s Germany. That's a Nazi joke. Moving on. Several Democrats are running to fill the California congressional seat left open as Adam Schiff runs for president or for Senate. The vote count is still unfinished, with Laura Friedman likely to win the most votes in the primary. But you might be wondering, Jimmy, this isn't Laura Friedman or Adam Schiff. Why, that's Corey from Boy Meets World. Well, perhaps the most surprising contender is Ben Savage, best known as Corey from Boy Meets World, who threw his hat in the ring, but unfortunately, it looks like he will not be making it. He will not be a congressman. And I, for one, think that that is totally fine, because clearly this was a mistake. He should run for president and will easily win all 50 states by making one simple promise. All he has to do is bring to us, the American people, First Lady Topanga. I just need everybody to know this was everybody's dream girlfriend when I was like a teenager, I guess, or maybe even a little bit younger. It's every like young boys from my generation's first imaginary girlfriend. Anyway, tomorrow Joe Biden is going to deliver his State of the Union address. This is actually an American tradition where the president addresses the nation, letting them know how things are going and how things to come are going to be. Early drafts of the speech have leaked. The president is expected to walk up to the mic and either yell, "Fuck me, dude, the union fucking sucks," or he might just unhinge his jaw and let out a screech that is going to make us all release our bowels. I was looking forward to having Hope read that one. That was one of hers. Finally, moving off of the presidential campaign, for the first time ever in the United States, you'll finally be able to start getting over-the-counter birth control pills starting this month. That is actually a huge victory. If we had a studio audiences where they'd be like, woo, that's a big victory for bodily autonomy, independence, freedom. And this is going to make birth control available to more people, regardless of if they have insurance or not, or if they have the ability to go to some center that might be able to provide it for them. This is a good thing. Now, besides pregnancy, if you didn't know, birth control pills are also good for managing certain hormonal imbalances, treating some pain conditions, and they're especially good for slipping into your red-pilled friend's breakfast so he grows titties. Here you go, Luke. They're often named Luke. I'm not saying all Lukes. I'm just saying they're often named Luke. Luke, red-pilled guys. You notice that? Also, next time you talk to someone, see if they can name one good Stephen. Alive. It has to be alive. Stephen Hawking's dead. You can't say him. In world news, France has become the first country ever. Okay, so this is also kind of a joke because it's a story about France and abortion. And I just associate pregnant people who are smoking as being French. In world news, France has become the first country to ever enshrine abortion rights into its constitution. This was a central issue to the president's agenda, and after the victory, President Emmanuel Macron released the following statement. I tried to sound French. This action should have been taken long ago, but now, with the guarantee of reproductive autonomy, people around the world will finally be willing to fuck the French. That's what they were doing it for. People want to fuck the French. Okay, moving on. The silence hurts. But who's it going to bring my dog up here and just command him to bark every time? K-pop star Karina delivered an intense apology this week after it was revealed that she has a boyfriend. Wait a second. Don't I have... Hang on. Can you all hear when I... No, that's not turned on. How do I turn this on? 1 second. We're going to... It's a little too late for this. It's like, Jimmy, what are you fucking doing, my guy? What are you fucking crazy here? And yet, I'm going to give it a shot. He's got a shot, though. Yeah, he's got a shot, though. All right, let me see. When I do this... Okay, channels 9 and 10. So if I come back to the channel matrix... and I turn 9 and 10 onto the master. Now, when I do something like this, I kind of want to, does this have enough slack? Can I just get this off? Oh, no. This is like on. That's like on. But which one of you is the one I need? There's applause. Oh, man, I thought there was a laughter one. I can do that. Well, that's not that good. There's applause. And if I need it, sorry for blasting your ears with that. I didn't know it was going to be that loud. Or maybe I didn't care. I'll turn it down a little. It's better. Well, I still don't have laughter, so whatever. Anyway, K-pop star Karina delivered an intense apology this week. This story actually fucking boils my goddamn blood. K-pop star Karina delivered an intense apology this week after it was revealed that she has a boyfriend. Scandal. Yeah, you've heard right. She apologized for not being single, partially in response to a billboard truck that had the words, "Is love given to you by your fans not enough?" written on the side of it, and that was being driven around outside her agency. This story sheds light on a lot of things, but mainly the gross parasocial relationship that are in part encouraged by agencies that Korean pop stars have contracts with. I'm not kidding, some contracts actually forbid stars from dating so they can seem more obtainable. And so I just have one question. Can we fucking stop? And at this point, I don't even mean creepy fan behavior. I mean humanity. Like, we had a decent run, humans, but it's time to be done. Putin, hit the launch button. Let's do it. Let's all go out. The whole thing. Woo! Which one's the right one? Nope, it's not that one. Thank you. Thank you. I really got to put laughter on one of these pads, man. What am I doing? I can do, I don't know if you'd even hear if I did the effects. Which one was the applause again? Okay. Just so I know when I need it again. It's orange, the orange pad. So that sucks. A 62-year-old man in Germany is now being called hyper-vaccinated. I just literally said to ChatGPT, I need a picture of a German getting too many vaccines. That's what it came up with. Thank you, ChatGPT. A 62-year-old man in Germany is now being called hyper-vaccinated, having received 217 COVID vaccinations in 29 months. Pretty notable, he did so without suffering any vaccine-related side effects. So much for that theory, assholes. Anyway, when asked his reasons for taking so many vaccines, the man claimed it was for private reasons, which I think means we can all agree it was a sexual thing. It was clearly a sexual thing. JetBlue and Spirit Airlines have ended their agreement and attempt at merging. It was not the preference of either company after long deliberations, but after an investigation from the federal government determined that allowing the merger would create a total monopoly on airlines with zero legroom, puke odor, and a tendency to inflict riders with the flu. You can't monopolize that, people. Speaking of terrible airlines, passengers have filed a lawsuit against Boeing and Alaska Airlines over the door plug, which flew off mid-flight last year. Alaska Airlines is expected to offer a generous settlement, though, of free headphones from 2005 and microwave nuts. In all seriousness, I don't fly, so I don't know why I have opinions about airlines. I literally haven't flown since I was like, I don't know. It's been over a decade for sure. It's been a long time. Anyway, in all seriousness, they're actually expected to add some new safety features for the passengers, including they're going to add new passenger instruction lights. Usually there's just the do your seatbelt. Now there's going to be three. Three of them, they're going to read, please be seated, secure your seatbelt, and kiss your ass goodbye in all caps. That's going to be the last one. Kiss. All right. I need a person here. I'm realizing I hate this. I hate this. I hate doing this alone. It was I did it alone, obviously, for most of the old show, and then even trying to relaunch, and I didn't realize how much I hate doing it alone. It's so much more fun with a person. Anyway, I don't actually have much of a joke about this one. I just want to point out how fucking stupid this headline is. For those of you who might be listening to this in podcast form, first of all, that's weird because we don't have this in podcast form. But if you're just listening, this headline from Vanity Fair reads, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce part ways after brief Sydney reunion. Now, look, I actually do get why they did it because I'll admit it. For the very first time in my life, I opened up a Vanity Fair article. And that's even weirder because I don't care who Taylor Swift is dating at all. I don't think about it at all. The only time I would care about who Taylor Swift is dating, I would only care if she was dating me. And I'm not saying I want Taylor Swift to date me. I'm saying I would want an article to tell me that Taylor Swift was dating me because I probably wouldn't know otherwise. And that if you were dating Taylor Swift, you'd want to know. Anyway, I would just can we acknowledge that this title was clearly meant to imply something else? Meant to imply that they had broken up? Because they didn't. The actual story, if when I read that title, you went, oh my God, they broke up. Oh, bummer. They didn't break up. That's not what this story is about. The actual story somehow is one super rich person fucked the environment in the face to fly all the way to Australia to get some booty from another super rich person and then left the next day on another international flight, further face fucking the environment. So yeah, no joke here. Just kind of fuck you, Vanity Fair. People are seriously disappointed when you are the only option in a waiting room. Fucking insane. I'm not the only one who thinks that's fucking crazy, right? Anyway, I was also excited for Hope to read this one, but it's sort of because of an inside joke between she and I. However, it's fine. Well, I'll read it. Yesterday, Bitcoin hit an all-time record high. Already off to a bad start. Yesterday, Bitcoin hit an all-time record high of over $68,000 per coin. That's right. After the crypto bubble burst a few years ago, it has now reinflated. So enjoy, because all of your friends who lost half or all of their life savings in 2020 will be posting about how right they were all along and that they knew this day was going to come. They never lost the faith, even though they did technically pull out all their money back when Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande was a thing. The joke is that was in 2020, but I couldn't say Ariana Grande. Back when they pulled their money out after it had already lost most of its value back in 2020, when celebrities Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live and Suicide Squad and some movie about a firefighter, I guess, that Bill Burr plays, and Ariana Grande from the Disney Channel and nothing else. She's not done anything else other than the Disney Channel stuff. Just so you know, there's no other, the Ariana Grande, single credit, Disney Channel, nothing else. So the joke was that in 2020, they were still a thing, but it was short-lived. And so it was only in 2020. So I'm saying, not to over-explain it, but what I'm saying is that they pulled their Bitcoin out back in 2020 when those two were still a couple. Is everyone on the same page now? Are we all following? Good. So congratulations, Bitcoin, on your continued success as we march toward the end of civilization. And my condolences to all out there who thought they got their friends back from the crypto brodom. For what it's worth, you'll see them again after the next burst. But honestly, the question at that point will be, do I even want to see them again? I barely wanted them back this time. Because back in 2020, when, to be clear, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande were first dating and then engaged and then broke up. And then she wrote a song where she mentions him as though he was very important to her life. And then later in an interview said that she didn't even really know who he was and dated him because she was bored. And now there's all of this stuff about her like usually being mostly interested in taken men. But I don't know whether any of it's true because I've only seen Reddit headlines. That's Ariana Grande of only the Disney Channel and Pete Davidson. I am Jimmy Snow. And I wish that I hadn't had to do this episode by myself because it's way worse. I don't have as good a time when it's just me. Also, I want to once again point out, and listen, I do not take this personally. It is mostly funny to me. It's my birthday episode, and a whopping one person has sent a super chat. They're like, we don't give a fuck. That super chat's going to get eaten by YouTube fees so fast. I got $2 for my birthday. Anyway, that was the whole Roast the News segment, and the conversations that would have happened between me and a guest would have been so good and so fun. And yet, here we fucking are. Oh my God. Let's do a little bit of fucking r/news. Because we got to do something. I will go down with this ship. It's going great. It's going great. And I'm happy. That's what's important, is that I have a life of happiness. No, of course, Jen, you gave the line $50, you know, we profit share. What happens over here on Jimmy Snow? Oh, that's mine. Though actually, should the show take off and there be money worth splitting, we will do that with the hosts that come on. Right now, it's the recurring host. Probably be most likely Dom and Sarah. Just to be clear. All right. Let's see what is currently top of Reddit. Here we pull in, make sure that that it's not wieners or something. Though I've got it on the safe for work settings. Just hosted PC all by himself, and of course, here we see nothing. Because why would the show just work? This is the funny thing. Whenever there's tech issues, the thing I end up prioritizing is whatever those tech issues are. And so then other things that are tech issues get completely missed. Somewhat, I won't say ironically, but let me see if I can fix this quick. We're going to see what's at the top of Reddit, everybody. Let's just do that. See if that helps out a little bit here. A little bitski. We got any improvements going on here. Video frame rate. We'll just do a little 60 hertz there. See if that, well, we just fucked. Oh, here we go. It worked. All right. Let's hit up r/news first. Is everyone having a good time? I know you're not. Fucking A. I didn't want to create a post. What is going on? And it won't let me leave. Holy shit. What a fucking day. Is Reddit broken? That's what's going to be the problem. All right. We're going to /r/news. There we go. Let's see what is currently the top of Reddit. Talk about the news and the things going on top. Holy shit, this is moving at a fucking snail's pace. Well, unfortunately, I'm too ahead of the game because this was definitely not the top of Reddit. I kind of avoid the top of Reddit when I write the show because I'm like, well, I want something to talk about during r/news. But right now, number one thing, hyper-vaccinated man reportedly received 217 COVID jabs without side effects. But it's funny that that's what the title focuses on when the story is much more interesting. The thing that I find interesting about the story is he won't explain why he did it. Like there's something about it. I don't know if he has tremendous hypochondria, a needle fixation, if it's more a sexual thing, as we mentioned, or what it is. We literally don't know what it is. But this guy took 217 of them. And at first they investigated because they thought he was doing a scam, that he was getting them and then distributing them to other people or something. But then they've confirmed since then that no, in fact, he's been fucking pumping those in his veins. That's what's been going down. Anyway, let's see. A man who crashed a snowmobile into a parked Black Hawk helicopter is suing the government for $9.5 million. Well, that is an interesting twist. Let's see what's going on there with that. Let's see. I'm going to continue without supporting this time. I'm sorry. Let's have a look-ski. Jeff Smith was whizzing along on a snowmobile one evening a few years back when something dark appeared in front of him. He hit his brake, but he couldn't avoid clipping the rear tail of a Black Hawk helicopter parked on the trail. 2019 crash almost cost Smith his life, and now the subject of a federal lawsuit by the Massachusetts lawyer. He's demanding $9.5 million in damages from the government. Money, he says, is needed to cover his medical expenses and lost wages, as well as hold the military responsible for the crash. I have a feeling the non-holding them responsible is just a portion of the 0.5, and that the remaining $9 million is the like, I think this is fair. Which, good for you. Get that paper, bro. Last 5 years, there's been surgery, recovery, who lost the use of his left arm. Oh shit, this dude got fucked up by it. I take it all back. Fucking lost the use of his left arm, suffered respiratory issues since the crash, hasn't been able to work full time. Honestly, right now, it feels like I'm in a worse place than when I first had the surgeries in 2019. I would not give up use of my left arm for $9.5 million. So, if anything, I'm on this guy's side. A U.S. District Court judge in Springfield is expected to rule on the lawsuit, and it's fucking 2024. My brain is so riddled with constant stimulation and new information that I'm ready to move on. Anyway, I hope you get that cash, bro. $9.5 million is a steal for a lost arm. Fountains of Bellagio on Las Vegas Strip pause due to rare bird landing in the water. What is r/news today? This shit's stupid. The world is on fire if we're talking about the fountains of the Bellagio on the Las Vegas Strip. Oh no, a rare bird, not a rare bird. Also, are the Bellagio fountains capable of killing a bird? Does that happen often? Because if so, turn down the fountains. If that is what's happening, the fountains are too strong. I'm going to open up so I can see my chat on here too. That's too much. Turn them down, guy. Fucking Christ. Oh, Liz Chris, thank you. We'll get to those here in a little bit. What a fucking, jeez. Turn them down. But also, if they're not killing them, this is really stupid news. But we're in America. What the fuck did you expect? Credit card late fees capped at $8 as part of Biden administration crackdown on junk fees. Man, I'll tell you what, they got to go after overdraft fees too. The way in which companies, I'm trying to remember what the number was, but it's crazy. It's like it might be in the billions, but it's certainly the high millions. Banks make so much money off of fees on people who couldn't afford. And it's like these $35 fees that on average are for going over by $6 or $7. So you've got these people who are getting like 500% penalties because it's a flat fee rate. So it's technically not a percentage that is illegal. It's a flat fee rate, while most of the time it's in the hundreds of percents as a penalty. So anyway, eat the fucking rich. And then what'll happen too is you'll have people who, this happened to me years ago, where I didn't realize, I don't remember what the situation was, but I think it was just that I had moved money from checking to savings. The reason why I'm trying to specify is because I tried to fight it and I was like, fuck no, you can't take the money from the other account. We're fucking fighting right now. There was money to cover it in the other account, but they didn't automatically draft the other account. And so like things happened, but it was like 3 or 4 little transactions in a row that all hit on the one day. And they tried to fucking 35 all 4 of the transactions. So they were like, hey, you've tried to pull out basically like $20 to $30 more than you should have. The money's in the other account. We didn't just take it from that or count that as insurance that your total balance is still above zero. And we believe we now deserve over $100 for that. Fucking banks, eat them. Eat the rich, eat the banks. Fucking A. Boeing hasn't turned over records about work on the panel that blew off a jetliner, U.S. official says. Until you force them to, they're not gonna. This has been the worst fucking press for Boeing since, the towers thing. And that wasn't the Boeing's fault, but still, they were like, well, don't love seeing that. Russian missile strike hits near Zelensky motorcade in Odessa. This was actually wild. So, the president of Ukraine was meeting with I think it's a prime minister, or whatever the head of state is for Greece. And it was so close, they actually saw the missile impact, heard and felt the impact. So like Putin either was doing it on purpose, knew where they were and purposely hit nearby, or was being reckless and would have nearly killed a head of state other than Ukraine, because it's already going to be fucked up enough if he manages to kill Zelensky. But if you manage to kill another head of state, good luck on keeping that out of being... In fact, is Greece a part of NATO? I don't know. Is Greece a member of NATO? Bum, ba bum, bum. Yep. Had that succeeded, I guess the question is an attack on the head of state of Greece, is killing him when he's in a war country, is that considered an attack on Greece the way it would trigger a NATO ally response? I don't know the answer to that question. I'm seeing the info as you're seeing the info. Jimmy needs to have his friends or he won't have a good time, and neither will the audience. 2 killed in Houthi missile attack on cargo ship. That sounds like the wars we're in and about to be in. Response grows as Westboro Baptist Church plans protest at Owasso schools. At this point, it's like, what the fuck is even... There's no surprise anymore. These people are like the lowest trash. And all they care about, as they've shown time and time again, and clearly I'm falling for it too, all they want is for you to be talking about them. National and local organizations are responding to a protest planned by the Westboro Baptist Church at Owasso Public Schools on March 6th. Comes after the death of OPS student Nex Benedict, the day after a fight at the school. Yeah, so I guess they probably couldn't make it in time for the funeral, because usually that would be their play, to actually go to the funeral with signs that say, God hates such and such and so and so. I got to go to one of those things one day. Just take a mic. Go talk to Shirley. Hey, Shirley. You still the absolute fucking worst? Did you excommunicate your father who started the religion because he wasn't hateful enough? That's a real thing. Fucking garbage people. Change healthcare cyber attack affects millions. Don't know. Doesn't interest me. National Guard to be deployed in New York City subway and crime crackdown. That sounds like a bad thing. I know that New York City is having crime issues. Man, it's hard to say. Well, no, not really, because the National Guard's a bunch of young yeehaw. Oh, man. I don't have growing up in a military family, living in multiple military towns, being around the military, and even just like most of my opinions of the military are low, but they are mostly validated by people from the military I know as well. For example, that the military operates much like a cult and would like you to treat it like one. Just surrender your whole ass fucking identity. Anyway, I don't know that this sounds like a bad thing. It's like, on the one hand, NYPD has historically been pretty dog shit. So what could be worse? And then on the other hand, it's like, I don't know, the military? Yeah, that'll fucking do it. Haiti gang boss tells absent prime minister to quit or face civil war. Jesus. The rest of the world, shit's cray. Hey, how come we run out of stories? That's not the end of Reddit. 2 hours ago, 1 hour. U.S. floods arms into Israel despite mounting alarm over war's context. I don't know how to fucking like support a single bit more of support there. Like, you know, anything they need for the Iron Dome, fine. Specifically that. I could say like, oh my God, my glasses. I just wanted to wipe them off. Don't play music. My glasses can play music, people. You know, do your glasses do that? Fuck you if they don't. No, not really. They're cool glasses though. I just took a picture of my surroundings from first person view. Anyway, it's the shit's clearly a genocide, and they are just like indiscriminately bombing now in both the north and the south after saying they weren't going to do both. After saying, yeah, you can retreat to the south, you'll be fine. Indiscriminately bombing. You've got now talks of potentially thousands of newborns and children starving to death. Like this, I don't know how to, on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, okay, look, you couldn't just say like, all right, it's free reign. Take down the weapons and let, you know, whatever happen. Because yes, the Israelis are going to have to defend as in keep themselves alive. But what they are doing is far beyond any concept of self-defense at this point. And the absolute overcorrection, over-the-top response to just call that they have a right to defend themselves. It's fucking crazy. And at this point, I'm literally just like, don't fund anything, any more stuff except, like I said, the Iron Dome, fine. The thing that stops the missiles from coming in, sure. They have otherwise plenty of weapons and more than enough for any amount of offensive that legitimately needs to be done. If there's anything left that needs to be done, now that they've leveled 85% of the goddamn place, it's just fucking heartbreaking. And you're just sitting here going like, oh, fucking good. I'm so excited that I get a vote for Joe Biden, who's fucking sending money to support a goddamn genocide, or in this case, arms, where you're like, but acknowledging Trump will be worse. I know what's wrong with the background. God damn it. I'm sorry that even in the middle of a rant, this kind of stuff distracts me. Trump will be worse. Like, that's the fucked up part still, is that he definitely, we don't want Trump there. Trump would be fine if they used goddamn nukes. Legitimately. Like, at some point he'd be like, you know, I'm just saying, we've got nuclear missiles. Let's make a deal and end this problem once and for all. And I can take credit for peace in the Middle East, which all it took for peace in the Middle East is to vaporize 3 million people. Except for that, the actual land, the actual area, they don't want to be radioactive. So they wouldn't literally nuke. But fucking what would Trump tell them they can't do? They wouldn't nuke. So what would Trump say they cannot do in Gaza or West Bank? What would Trump say? No, that's the line. Don't pass this line. He wouldn't have a fucking line. Biden at least kind of has a line. Fucking kind of. It's a lot of like, hey, pull back. What are you doing? You've gone past the line. We gotta. It's fucking nuts. And not to mention the ways in which a Trump presidency has the potential to continue the policies and potential administration of Bibi Netanyahu, who is a fucking nightmare, man. Just a bad fucking person. Cyber attack paralyzes the largest U.S. I feel like that was the same thing before. It was weird too. Yesterday, Meta and a bunch of other services went down. And no one's telling us why. This is weird. Is it because it's set to top? Let's do top now. Oh, now we go down to one post. New Mexico becomes the 4th state to enact clean fuel standards. Let's go to this week. That get us more? Supreme Court rules Trump cannot be kicked off the Colorado ballot. We talked about that during the show. It's funny because it was actually 9-0. And so you had five of the conservatives basically say like, you've gone way too far. And then you had Amy Coney Barrett, who was like, nah, well, you went kind of too far. I actually am not as harsh as the other conservatives, but I won't line up with the liberals. And then the liberals were just like, look, this wording, this process, whatever, like you can't. And at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. We've got this garbage extremist Supreme Court. Whether or not they're technically right on this issue, I don't know. I don't know if they are, but because basically they're saying Congress needs to set these rules and figure that shit out. But there's supposed to be some sort of constitutional guarantee that states can run their own elections. And then they're saying, no, that only means state elections, not federal elections. I don't know. I'm all for abolishing the Supreme Court anyway. Bum ba bum 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 bum. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw that fucking video of the IDF massacring people who were trying to collect food from food trucks. Kind of reminds me of that cop who responded with gunfire to an acorn falling on their thing, on their deal. It was literally like the crowd's hearing gunshots, so starts running in a frenzy, and then the other soldiers are reacting to the frenzy by shooting more gunshots. Oh, Donald Trump found to have fraudulently boosted value of Scott's homes by up to $200 million. I'm sure he's heartbroken about that and is going to totally pay his Scottish bills. Yeah, Senator Menendez. This dude is so fucking guilty. Yeah, it wasn't just Facebook though. It was a bunch of services. I don't know. Anyway, that's good enough for me. I feel that I wish that I still had a friend here with me. I had a friend with me. But here's the thing. It takes a long time to write the show, even though it's only like a 20-minute segment. You know, it's a lot of research and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to go read the jokes and the stories and inform the people. I'm not going to go on alone. But I'm realizing now what I probably should have done is try to move the show another day and either see if we could fix Hope's issues in the meantime, though we're going to try and fix that before a next show would happen, or see whether or not we could, I could get somebody else in that period of time. But whatever, it is what it is. We're all having fun. All of you had fun, right? This was a fun show. That's what everyone was like, you know, of shows, this was the funnest. I'm going to read super chats and then I'm just going to call it a night. Check out Matt's show tonight, which is the Hang Up over on the line. I think this show is actually set to automatically redirect there, but usually we'd be going right up against that 2 hours. We're going to be done before that. However, I'll go as long as there are super chats coming in. And fun little fact, there aren't really super chats coming in. So it probably won't be going for very, very long, but we'll get the ones that are in here. Let me pull up these cues here. And actually, I'm going to rearrange my windows a little bit. And it's really funny because I used to be very, very independent, like not wanting to collaborate much. And now it's like between the line, which is always a collaboration, and this, I really just prefer, not to sound sappy, not that anyone of mine, but kind of really just like hanging out with my friends, talking about stuff that matters and trying to take it to a level of like, hey, the world's terrible, but you know, might not be so bad for long. They're still friends. We still got you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. All right. Let me see if this is fixed and ready. Bum 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 ba dum bum ba dum. It's not. Or is it? It is. Is it? It is. Okay, here we go. All right. Super chats. Just hosting super chats. Okay. From Green Man Dave, Cola Breath Man. Happy birthday. I hope you didn't just make me say something super offensive. Because yeah, don't do that. That would be mean. $4.99 from Swamp Woman Making Oreos. Guilt-driven super chat. Go fuck yourself, Jimmy. Happy birthday. Eat something fancy that won't hurt your stomach. Hey, I appreciate that very much. By the way, we do have the new designs out. Let me grab an image of it. We have the new designs out. Is that it by chance? No, that is not it. Oh, and I can't show it to the vertical anyway, so I'm not going to bother with it. But the new merch at linemerch.com, and mine is specifically, it says, unafraid to disappoint daddy, magical or otherwise. And then it's got like a silhouette face of one side is God and one side's just a generic dad looking guy. Some people said that I modeled them after myself, my own likenesses based on my different hair lengths over the year. Neither of them are meant to be me. However, you know, shit is what it is. What? Jen, you said LOL Vosh. Is Vosh hanging out in the chat or something? I don't see him. It'd be weird if he was here, because he doesn't really come to my stuff. I want to kick him out. Well, hey, bud. By the way, there's no drama there. We just don't really do stuff together that often. I think the last one was election coverage. Next one might be election coverage. Yeah, I don't know. Cola breath, happy birthday. Doing a function after me eat something fancy. If it doesn't hurt your stomach, we did that. I just have to take medications to make things not eat my stomach. Not hurt my stomach. That's pretty much the process these days. All right, we've got more coming over here. Let's start with Jimmy. You are exactly 9 years older than me. Happy belated birthday to both of us. Go fuck yourself. It's a good birthday. No Illusions also has, I found out yesterday, a birthday on this day. We've never done anything together except fight once on Threads. But it was over my take that while the polls are imperfect, we should not ignore them completely, because there are things you can take out of them. And essentially my point was that Donald Trump doing so well in specific polls, especially regarding demographic shift and stuff, bodes very unwell. And he believed my take was nonsense. But then I tried to give him more of it, and he refused. There's intense drama here. So mad at him. No, I don't care. Fucking. It's but that's the only interaction we've had, was disagreeing over the election. I don't even know if he knows that he was interacting with, like, I don't know that he it's funny because he's been on the line before, but we've never done anything together. So he's been on my network of shows, and I presumably will be in the future, but we've never, I have no idea whether he's familiar with me at all. There's a lot of his takes were not. It seemed like he thought he was talking to somebody else with different types of views than I have. It's like, I don't think you know who you're talking to right now. Excuse me? Do you know who I am? Noah? How dare you? Liz Chris says, not to over-explain. This was fun. Hope you had a good entry to Earth Day. Go fuck yourself. It's funny too, because birthdays to me, they're so arbitrary. So like, yes, it's the day. So it's not entirely arbitrary. It's the day that you escaped the birth canal, but you can't remember any of it. It's not memorable to you at all. Your physical development as far as stuff goes, like, it's unfinished. Granted, you wouldn't want to come out a lot earlier than that, being premature can come with issues and stuff, but like, you don't even really start making memories until you're like 2 years old. You're barely more alive than not for a while. You're just sort of a stimulus bag for a while, just screaming at stuff. A Cube Film says, happy belated birthday, Jimmy. Have you thought about doing a woodworking show? I have, very many times. Honestly, I think it might ruin woodworking for me, but I probably will. I should say woodworking's always been a part, and I've thought about including woodworking in something. So what my dream would be, because I love doing the Sometimes Show. And so while I am no longer going to do shows because I think this is what the audience will like, not to say that I will give no input from the audience. People are obviously allowed to give constructive criticism and shit. But I'm doing shows for me now. And that's especially true of the Sometimes Show. And so I'm glad a lot of you like it. I really want more people to like it. not because I'm chasing them, but because they find me and they go, oh shit, yeah, this fits into what I like. This is what I think is good. And for enough people to do that we could once again do what we did in the old days, which was have a studio. And, if I could convince Sarah and Dominic to come there and move there and be working out, I'd fucking love that shit. That would be the best. But anyway, it would be amazing to have something like that where it could be a studio show again, one day. And, one of the elements I thought would be fun to do is the very first episode is just like the three of us or two of us on just wooden stools that I have made. And basically every episode has to have a new element added, made in my wood shop. Or maybe it's each week or whatever, because a lot of stuff's going to take a long time. Like the thing that I would imagine being the big surface desk, it would be like basically a river table with natural edges, would take months to make. So, or at least weeks, months with everything else going on. And so, but having some element of like each episode, we add something from my wood shop to the show. And so and sort of like limit it to the very first show. It's literally like an all white room. And we could even do like a different channel or behind the scenes where you see, this is a dream I came up with a long time ago, where you see like different things. So like the first one, it's an all white, just exposed drywall room and me on us on stools. And then maybe the next one, like there's a behind the scenes thing where we're adding to the wall. And so I'd probably want to do like a reclaimed barnwood panel slat wall, and, painting or whatever. And so like, episode to episode, you see like, oh, now they're on stools still and they're just talking in a regular microphone. Okay, now they have these different surfaces that they can mount the mics to. And now we've added this and added this, and have an actual show that develops from stools and drywall. Obviously, we're going to have to do a lot to manage that audio, make the audio sound good. So it's going to have to be like an actual like a stage type of set where the other side of it's quite open and you can dissolve the sound out into the thing. But it would just be, I don't know. I thought it would be fucking super cool. And then like, some of the things that we're adding to the set after a while are like, here's like a little wooden vase that we turned on our lathe. We did a little bit of wood turning this week. And this week I've made a wand for somebody and we use that in some sort of bit. Because obviously after some number of shows, you basically have the general set, but I'd still want to have that. And I think that would be fun. I don't know. Not one person in the chat has been like, fuck yeah. But, I don't, first of all, I don't think Bourbon Moth really said river tables are dead. I don't know about that. And river table might have been the wrong. I actually think what I would want is like, so it'd still be epoxy pouring to fill in gaps, but like some sort of giant, oh man, there are people who have redwood cookies, and a cookie is what it kind of sounds like. It's like a section out of the tree. A giant redwood cookie, fill it in with the epoxy, black epoxy. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, finally, getting some fuck yeahs up in here. Fuck yeah. That's so weird. Oh, this account can't do it. That's why. I was trying to make somebody a mod, but I can't from the account that I'm using the account that I'm using is a mod account, but can't itself make whatever. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if doing like a dedicated show and putting that much time into woodworking content, just based on all the woodworking content creators that I follow, it definitely becomes a job unto itself. And I guess I worry that it would make me not like it. But that said, I am currently working on a new set in my house to capture VR stuff. And I'm planning to do some VR related content. And I hope that it doesn't ruin shit for me, because it could. Out of curiosity, I checked. Oh, wait, we're not to that one yet, but I will be to that one before too long, because there aren't many in front of you. In fact, I think there's only like 2 in front of you. Ross Settle says, Vosh calls the Supreme Court high priests. I gotta say, they really do have that vibe. Yeah, that is a funny one, especially coming from Mormonism. Dade Murphy. Hey, Dade. Good to see you. Love you, Jimmy. Go fuck yourself. Happy birthday. I feel like Dade now goes a little out of his way to make sure I know he doesn't hate me, because I had mentioned that I originally assumed he doesn't hate me. So he's like, just want you to know, Jimmy, I love you, man. It's funny. Sorry if I made you worry. I believe you, but I appreciate you too. And this isn't to say you shouldn't have super chatted, because we got to pay bills. Anyway, Dade, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Oh, I see here that I need to resize the super chat window in the vertical one. It's got most of it, but there's just a little bit of cutoff there. All right, here we go. This might be the last one. If you got more super chats you want to get in, you want to say happy birthday, you want to whatever, you want to say, send a super chat with a recommendation for a guest for a future show. I already know one of the recommendations that's going to come up. And I have to say, I don't think Matt would want to do it. I don't think this show is his vibe. And Matt will probably try to ruin a lot of the jokes, because he kind of enjoys doing that to me. Like being like, hey, well, no, because technically, and I'm like, it's a joke. Come on. But anyway, if you want to super chat anything, this is the last chance to, and then do catch Matt's show, The Hang Up, in 45 minutes over on the line. You don't want to miss that. Unless you are insane. All right, so potentially the last one, unless they're coming in now. Make sure it's up on there. Yep. Sanguine Saunders says, out of curiosity, I checked which celebrities had March 5th birthdays. The one that stuck out was Joel Osteen. I think I just took psychic damage. All right, let me look. Birthdays. But let's see. Celeb birthdays on March 5th. It was funny, years ago, the people from the celeb birthday thing were like, famous birthdays were like, hey man, when do you want to send us your stuff for famous birthdays? And I just thought it was so funny that according to whatever their threshold for fame is, I made it. Am I still on here? Let's see. I'm looking through. I don't see me. Here, I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to Control F and type in Jimmy. Oh, no. Hang on. I got to find out. Maybe I'm on there as Mr. Atheist. Famous birthdays, Jimmy Snow. I used to be on here. American content creator. Yeah, I've got there. I have a profile on there, but apparently I'm, I don't know. Man, a lot of this is outdated. He's been based in Denver, Colorado. He often makes videos countering the views of Girl Defines Bethany Baird. First of all, it was all of Girl Defines. And second of all, I don't really do that anymore. They'll probably come up once or twice in the future, but it's not going to be big, long, dedicated videos. All right, so who are these famous people? I don't know who any of these people are. Cash Baker is TikTok. Never heard of him. Never heard of any of you. This just says, like, some of them say YouTube star, country singer, TikTok star. And then there's someone on here called Tommy Smith, and it just says family member. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, Eva Mendes. I know who she is, kind of. I mean, I've seen stuff with Eva Mendes. It's her birthday. That's cool. Yeah, Joel Osteen's up there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who any of these other fuckers are. Matt Lucas kind of looks familiar. Might be the, I think he might have been on an episode of Community. I think he's British. Yeah. Oddly not that populated by like the super famous. Wonder if there's a reason why. There's something that keeps us March 5ers down and out of the most exclusive clubs. All right. Well, Jen, you weren't supposed to tell people we used to be married. As a joke. Jen had written in the chat that it was her ex-husband's birthday. that appears to be it. We got no more in. So if you liked the episode, click like. If you didn't, click dislike. I don't care. Do whatever you want. The like and dislike are going to be for your algorithmic experience. If you say no, it will tend to lean more to the like, or it'll do nothing. It'll basically base it on what your view time was. If you hit like, it's more likely to say, hey, next time he's live, I'm going to tell you. And if you don't, it'll actually reduce the chances that you're going to be told. And so honestly, as bad as this is to fucking like say for my own algorithm as proof, I genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to do the show for fun and for people who want to have fun with me and need to, they want to hear the news and stuff, but want a little bit of an escape from this fucking garbage place we live. For better or worse, if you don't want to see more of me, hit dislike. It will reduce the amount I show up. No, I don't really have anything else to say. All right. That's it. I'm just going to run the intro again. Bye. Fucking see ya. Ba-da-ba-da.